Welcome back to the Charismatic Voice. Today I'm going to be reacting to a song that many of you have said is your absolute Dimash favorite. This will be the Love of Tired Swans, performed by Dimash Kudaibergen with music by Igor Krutoy. Now, regarding the version, you did have a few different suggestions, but the Kremlin version was the one that was most suggested. And I did scan through and make sure this is the version with the video of the swans in the background. But I haven't heard any of it yet. So let's get to it.
Посмотри мне в глаза, ты прости мне, я сожалею, я люблю тебя, жизнь моя, без тепла, я тобой болею, удержать.
Okay. Beautiful, tender quality from him. I love that he's walking down the stairs at the beginning too. It really feels like he's entering the song with you. Also, the idea of swans overall, I believe that this is meant to represent like a soulmate, essentially the person that you will share all of love with for the rest of your life. So I am watching these lyrics go by with a little more intensity than usual. I might have to go back and catch things because listening very carefully to the vocal at the same time as really also taking in the lyrics sometimes takes 2 takes. We'll keep going for now.
Не смогли, мы устали, нам очень трудно, я совсем один, ты пойми, без любви ничего не нужно, не могут жить в разлуке лебеди.
Oh, you have a live orchestra on stage too. That's really cool. Dimash is doing something technically that makes it sound like he's doing nothing at all, but it actually requires a ton of coordination. He is going through a very wide range of notes, meaning it goes into his lowest low. He's actually using a little bit of vocal fry to extend his chest voice a little bit further. And then he's going through the notes are really far apart. That's the best way to describe it. They're very far apart. And normally that means you have to really regulate a lot of breath pressure and energy to help make them sound even. He makes them sound even and effortless, which is very impressive. In addition, they all sound connected and legato. There were a few times in there where he even hovered on a phrase and he didn't take a breath when I would have expected it in order to continue the line even longer. It was very beautifully done. Let's go back just a little bit so you can hear that again with me.
Согрей любовь уставших лебедей. Мои дни.
Ooh, that switch up was very nice, very tender. I like the lyrics of this a lot. It seems like there's been some sort of battle between maybe the lovers and it feels like it feels like a plea, but also a truth that's being delivered. I love the way he's firmly planted in the stage. You see his feet there, they're apart. That gives him the amazing support that he needs to navigate that really, really large range without needing to show the effort. So he's able to just put his roots and put his breath really, really low to help him out. In addition, of course, it's Dimash. You see his hand painting going on, which can be very helpful for visualizing good vocal technique.
Без души я скучаю, все очень сложно, мы еще близки, не молчи, позови, если убей мне больно, я прошу, отступи. Мои чувства, не моя проза, иногда во сне приходи, забери, не ищи другого, не могут жить в разлуке лебеди.
Wow, I have to go back and catch some more of this. This is a great example of what a person can do just within head voice. He's able to lighten it up, and he's also able to add a lot more focus and weight to it. Now, some people have asked me some questions about, falsetto, head voice, mixed, how's that all fit in there? So you have chest, which is the lowest one, right? And then head voice, which is in between chest and falsetto. And falsetto is a little different. It sounds more feminine and almost hooty in quality. So this has been his head voice so far. And this entire section was just a great example of that light quality of head voice. That's what a lot of like pop singers would say, oh, that's the true head voice there. But then there's also, there's a mixed voice. What they would call mixed is when you add a little bit more weight. You essentially add a little more, it's a little more activity from one of the muscle groups in the larynx. It's still technically head register because mixed isn't a register, but it's head register that adds more weight into it and becomes mixed. So let's go back and listen to that. It's a really great example of how much you can do within one vocal register. This is beautiful. That might have been falsetto right there. Just a second, let's go back. Might have been falsetto, I'm not sure. I love the emotional intensity that's coming up here too. The lyrics are becoming, I think we've seen similar lyrics more in the beginning of the song, but it feels like with his delivery of them, they feel more and more sure, like, you can't leave me, swans simply can't live apart. And I love the way that he's bringing this closer to home with every single rendition. Such a good line.
Не могут жить в разлуке лебеди. Подожди, не спеши. В разлуке боль сильней. Любовь мою согрей. Любовь уставших лебедей.
I'm going to pause. That's where he flipped really into true falsetto, was right just before we stopped. Every time I've heard him sing whatever the words are for the Love of Tired Swans, I've heard so much tenderness in his voice. I love the way he's making that particular line stand out each time. It's really beautiful. And now for some amazing Dimash falsetto. Did you hear that tenderness again? Oh, okay. We're going to go back and listen to that section one more time. During the falsetto section, one of the things that I loved about his technique was the way he onset a high note. That's when you start a note, and a perfect onset is really coordinated. So you don't have too much air come out before, and you also don't get the sound of a glottal on it. You can use a breathy onset or a glottal onset for specific instances of expression, but generally the sound isn't as healthy and as easy to shape how you would like to. So Dimash made a beautiful and clean onset on a really high note, and onsets tend to be more difficult the higher you go. So I totally geeked out and was like, wow, listen to his onset. We're going to go back and listen to it again. And then we'll talk about why it's so crazy how he does the things afterwards. Let's go back to here maybe. It's going to be in this section. That was a great onset too. What's coming up? Okay, so we're going to listen to it one more time. I know you're like, okay, Elizabeth, really, are you excited about this note? But yes, I am. That is such a clean onset. Even reaches up to pluck it out. That's so good. Okay, so after somebody's been singing falsetto for a really long time, it's not surprising to hear them drop into a lower voice all of a sudden. But then to take that voice up to about the same pitch you were just singing in falsetto, but singing it instead in the full modal voice. So this would be his head voice, or as some pop coaches would call it, mixed voice when he's at the top here. That's really cool. That perfectly demonstrates Dimash's ability to really just sing any note however he wants it. It's very impressive. Let's catch it one more time.
Любовь мою согрей, любовь уставших лебедей, лебедей.
a lovely ending. I mean, Dimash on his knees and not just singing a note, but he was like caressing the sound. It was extremely gorgeous. It really felt like Dimash understood that love that is deep down to your soul, that is one of the reasons that humans live. Right? He understands that, and he's able to share it with us through this wonderful gift of being able to share deep emotions through his voice. It's just extremely beautiful. And also, the overall impression of the song was one of, of beauty as well. I loved the journey in this song. It didn't ever feel like there was a moment that was more for showing off a technical ability. Even the technical part of this song, the part where he was in his falsetto, that part felt like it was another heightening of the emotion, like almost like the swans were flying together. It was, and I loved the way the intensity grew and then sort of took off in that moment and then had even more intensity that ended in this intense caress at the end. It was really gorgeous. So thank you so much for recommending this. I see why many of you say this song is your favorite Dimash song. Guys, I would love to get to know you better. And every Monday and Friday at 8 a.m. Arizona time, I host a live chat during the premiere of that day. So come and say hi. If you don't want to miss out on that, you should hit subscribe and push the bell for notifications. And I'll hope to see you soon. Bye.